class. Well, today we're going to do something really fun. We're going to be doing some long division. And don't let that scare you. I know that way back when we did long divisions, it might have been a little scary, but you know what? We're not changing anything. So if you learn that, you're going to be fine with this one. So let's go into the setup and how we're going to do this. So when we start, we're going to have a polynomial with lots of different terms. We want to make sure that we get them into the correct order, because if we don't have them in the correct order, we're going to have some problems with our division. So we're going to arrange them so that the dividend and the divisor are in descending orders of powers. Now, if I have, let me just give you an example of these two terms though. If I have something like 3x squared plus 2x minus 7, and this whole thing is divided by, I don't know, 3x plus 1. Just making this up. This is the dividend right here, and this one, what it's being divided by, is the divisor, just so you know those vocabulary terms. Now let's take a look at what we're going to do. Once we have that set up, and you're going to see a few examples of this, the first thing we're going to do is divide. That means we're going to divide the first term that we see in the dividend by the first term of the divisor. And that's going to become the first term of the quotient. Then the next thing that we're going to do, once we've done that, we have that first, we're going to multiply that first term in there in the quotient. We're going to multiply every term in the divisor. By the first term of the quotient. And then we're going to write that product beneath the dividend. So then the following step then is to subtract. And we're going to subtract that product that we just found from the dividend. Then we're going to bring down the next term. That is in the dividend. And then we're going to just repeat that process over and over again until we can't bring down any more. Now, I want you to have these terms written down, or these directions written down, and I know as you're writing them down the first time, you're probably going, what in the world? Because there's all those terms that we don't use every day: dividend, divisor, quotient. But as you go through this and you see some of those, what we're doing with these, and you can go back to this list, and it will make more sense as you see it happening and happening again and again. So let's move on. Now that you got to see an example done to music, now you have to put up with me doing it without music. I'm just going to talk it through. So let's take a look at this example. We have, let's see, this is our dividend up here. This one is our divisor. We have to set them up in descending order. So on that divisor, or I'm sorry, the dividend, that 4 terms, 6x cubed is going to be the first term. Then we go to the next term, which is x squared. So it's negative x squared, and then we want the x term, which is negative 5x. And then we want that constant, 4. And we're going to do long division. And then we'll put our dividend out here, 3x minus 2. So the first step that we're doing here is that we are going to divide. We're going to take 6x cubed, the first term of the dividend, and divide it by the first term of the divisor, the 3x. And we get 2x squared. So we're going to put that as our first term of the quotient, 2x squared. And we're going to multiply that by both numbers of the divisor. 2x squared times 3x is 6x cubed. 2x squared times negative 2 is negative 4x squared. And then we're going to subtract that, because that first term is always going to subtract to 0. 6x cubed minus 6x cubed is 0. When we take negative x squared and we subtract a negative 4x squared, that's like adding 4x squared. So we're going to have 3x squared. Then we're going to bring down that negative 5x. And we repeat that whole process. So we're going to have this first term, 3x squared. And we're going to divide it by 3x. And that just gives us x. That's the second term of the quotient. And we're going to multiply that second term to everything in the dividend, or divisor. X times 3x is 3x squared. X times negative 2 is negative 2x. And then we're going to subtract. 3x squared minus 3x squared is 0. Negative 5 minus negative 2x is negative 3x. And we're going to bring down the positive 4. One more time, we're going to do negative 3x divided by 3x. And that's going to give us negative 1. That's the next term in the divisor, or in the quotient. We're going to multiply negative 1 to both terms of the divisor, and we get negative 3x. And negative 1 times negative 2 is a positive 2. And then we're going to subtract that. And negative 3x minus negative 3x is 0. 4 minus 2 is 2. Now this 2 is our remainder. Remember though, we're not going to use R2. We're going to put that in a fraction. So our answer is going to be 2x squared plus x minus 1 plus 2 is the numerator over our divisor of 3x minus 2. One more example with me. This one I want to show you that you do need to have those placeholders for the missing terms. Our dividend here starts with an x cubed, but we want to take a placeholder for every term after that down to the constant. There are 0 x squareds, and there are 0 x terms. And then we have a constant of 9. So that's how we're going to write our dividend. Our divisor is just x minus 1. There's nothing missing. So let's go ahead and do this one the same way. We're going to divide that first term of the dividend by the first term of the divisor. And we get x squared. So x squared goes as the first term of the quotient. When we take x squared times x, it's x cubed. X squared times negative 1 is negative x squared. Next step is to subtract that. Oops, that's a cubed. X cubed minus x cubed is 0. 0x squared minus 1x squared minus negative 1, I'm sorry, is going to give me a 1x squared. And we're going to drop the 0x. So we're going to take that x squared, first term of this product or difference, and divide that by the first term of the divisor, and we get x. That's the next term of our quotient. X times x gives us x squared. X times negative 1 gives us negative x. And we're going to subtract that. So x squared minus x squared is 0. 0x minus negative x gives us x. And then we're going to bring down the 9. Well, x divided by x is 1. That's our next term in the quotient. 1 times x is x. 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. So then we're going to subtract that. X minus x is 0. 9 minus negative 1 is 10. So we're going to write our quotient as being x squared plus x plus 1 plus, and that remainder of 10 is the numerator, and the divisor is our denominator, 10 over x minus 1. All right, very good.